Hey everyone, it's Sim here from the Fusing Shop, and in today's glass blowing video, I'm going to be showing how to make some ribbon cane. I have two glass alchemy colors here. I have glass alchemy twilight and the alchemy mint, and we're going to be using these colors to make like a two-colored or two-sided disc. And what I'm doing right now is heating up the very ends of those rods, and we're going to get those nice and molten hot. And we're going to touch the ends together in the flame. And I'm going to gently push my hands together. So we're going to push a Maria on with this glass. And you're going to start to see that expand out as I add more glass to the Maria. And each side of the Maria is going to have one color glass. So on my left hand right now, I have that dark blue. That's going to be one side. And on the other side, we're going to have that mint color. Just keep pushing and smushing. Get some rockin' tunes on and, just have yourself a nice relaxing time. Keep letting that Maria get bigger and bigger. We want this to be relatively flat. And we're going to be smushing it a couple times anyway. So might as well get some of the smushing out of the way now. Be gentle and try to rotate your hands evenly and press them together so you get each side of the disc with a different color. I know I said that before, but I'm going to say it again. What I'm doing now, I'm going to flame cut off that dark blue rod. Excuse me. And we have some extra glass there, which is fine. Not a problem. Just give it a smush on your graphite. And it's not perfectly flush with the rest of the disc, but that's fine. And I'm just showing the two colors so you can see how each side is looking good. I had a very thin stringer that someone left for me, and I'm just quickly melting it down so it's a little bit safer. And what I'm going to do now is attach a cold seal punty onto that dark blue side. And we're going to flame cut off the mint colored rod. Excuse me again. Alright, so to do the cold seal, you guys have seen me do this before. Just get the very tip of that clear rod nice and hot. Keep the dark blue nice and warm. And just touch those two together out of the flame. Now, flame cutting off the other rod. Make sure, again, you always do your flame cuts in the flame and not outside the flame, because you'll just wind up pulling stringers. So always make sure as soon as where that glass starts to taper and thin out, heat in that spot and the glass will cut nice and easy for you. I am flattening out the that mint green now and making sure it is flush with the rest of the color. And then I'm going to encase both of these sides in clear. I'm getting a punty ready to make a hot seal on top of the disc. So where the two colors meet each other, that's where I'm going to be attaching this punty. And we want it to be a hot seal connection. Of course, we're going to be encasing the color in clear. And we don't want this snapping off as we're doing that. So make sure you make a good hot seal. Crack off your cold seal. Melt in the scar mark. And I'm just going to go ahead and press those colors so everything is nice and flat. Boom. Only glass that is hot is going to get moved. So I'm just doing the outer faces and just going in with the smasher, giving it a gentle squeeze and getting that all looking good. Each time I go in, it gets a little bit more flat and melted together. And just be patient. It'll get there. Even though sometimes it looks like the glass is never going to fuse together. Just keep going, reheat, giving it a smush. And be patient with the glass. I'd like to give a quick plug to my Patreon page. It does take me a lot of time and effort, and I know YouTube is free, but if you guys could kindly go and hit the supporter link. It's only $5 a month, and it would greatly help me and my family, and continue to help me make, have time and make videos for you guys. So if you could just go to patreon.com/foozlingshop, sign up for the supporter tier, that would be amazing. Thank you guys so much. And here is our finished disc, ready to be encased. I'm taking a 10mm rod that I'm going to be using for this. And I'm going to show two different techniques for encasing. The first one I'm going to do is get a gather going on that clear rod. And I'm just going to smush it on to that dark blue side. And you could add more clear. Just keep smushing and pushing. And then we're going to flame cut this off. Get that nice and hot. Pull it away where the glass starts to taper. Make sure you put that part in the flame and get a nice flame cut. For the other side, I'm going to be striping the clear on. So do a bead of clear, then go next to it and do another bead of clear. Then go next to that one, lay down another bead of clear. And that gives us a more, what's the word for it? Like a much flatter layer, I guess you could say, than having that large amount of clear protrude. I mean, I'm going to smush it down in a minute, but right now it's protruding quite far, whereas the other side is nice and flush. I'm going to put some heat into this whole piece right now, and then again we're going to go in with those smashers and repeat the process to get that clear fully covering the color before we move on. You can see how nicely that just smushes down. And this gives more depth to your color when you add clear to it. So I really like encasing I really like encasing color with clear. Okay, nailed that one finally. Let's do today's dad joke while I heat that paddle up. And today's dad joke is, why is money called dough? Because we all need it. And that's need with a K-N-E-A-D. And that is definitely true. We all do need money. 100%. Right now, what I'm doing is just laying some more clear wherever I missed. And making sure I have a nice even coating before moving on and pulling this out. And just be gentle. Get a nice little gather going and just lay it down right over that color. Careful not to distort your disc while you do this. You want to keep it nice and flat. And you will be rewarded with nice even cane when you're done. Okay, now that we got that fully encased, I'm going to go ahead and heat it up again. We want to make sure there are no lines or anything else in the clear layer. So just get some heat in there, let it all melt together. I find it like super amazing how the glass, even though it looks like it's all these separate layers, all just melds and fuses together. It's like so cool. Even though I've been doing this for a while, I never get tired of it. Using those smashers, make everything nice and even. The next step that we're going to be doing in a minute is attaching a punty to the other end of this disc. And then we're going to put some heat in there. Give it a pull and a twist, and we'll get really nice ribbon cane from this. You could use multiple colors to do this, or you could lay down like lines and it'll make like stripes in your paddle, in your cane if you lay some lines over the color, and it just looks super cool. I don't know if you guys want me to do a video on that. It's really just the same thing as what I did here, except you'll like, take some stringers and draw some lines on the cane. But if you guys want to see it, leave me a comment below. Right now I'm getting that other punty ready, putting some heat in there so we can make a hot seal. Again, a hot seal is when you have both surfaces nice and molten hot and you touch the two together in the flame. Now I'm just straightening and making sure everything looks good. You want to keep your hands rotating at the same pace right now while you get some heat into the disc. So just keep rotating at the same rate. It's always a fun skill learning to rotate with two hands, but just practice, practice, practice. And you guys will master it in no time. Put some heat not just in the middle of the disc, but also into the sides as well. And it might feel a little bit like floppy on you, which is fine. You know, we are working with relatively thin punties here, and that might happen. Just stick with it. Keep rotating. Move out of the flame if you want the glass to move a little bit slower, or even lower your flame as well. You don't have to work with such a big flame. It's more important to have control over the glass than to make things happen quickly. You can see that's getting a nice even heat in the whole disc. I love working with color because you could really see the heat in it. Sometimes with clear it's a little bit tricky to see the heat base, but with color you could really see that heat base build up in there. Just continue to heat and rotate. Take it out of the flame, and I'm just gently giving it a gentle pull. I'm not going for the big pull right now. Just a gentle pull to start shaping it up and helping guide the glass where I want it to go. You want to make your paddle a little bit even at this point, so when you pull it, it pulls out even. So I have a little bit thicker piece on the end where I'm focusing the heat now. And I'm going to give that a gentle pull as well to even that out a little bit. That's looking good. Glass looks happy. Therefore, I'm super happy. And just keep rotating that glass, people. A lot of rotating in lampworking. So you get lots of practice in rotating. And now I'm going in for the twist and pull. And you could do this in steps depending on how thick or thin you want. I'm pulling relatively slow, so I have a thicker cane because I'm going to be using this for marbles. And then I still have glass at the end. I'm just giving twists until that, and I'm twisting and pulling until the glass stiffens up. This way you get a nice straight piece of cane that's really easy to work with. Now I'm going to flame cut off the end. Boom, make sure you cut the glass in the flame and don't pull stringers. And that is what the twisty cane looks like. It was hard to get in focus. It's hard to get anything with glass in focus. So I'm just going to show a picture at the end, but that's what it looks like. Oh, there we go. Finally. It finally worked. It's very hard for me to get it in focus while I'm sitting at the torch and working with the glass. So, you know, I do my best, people. So we're going to flame cut off the other end. And you could pull more cane with that chunk that's on the end, or you can leave it, or you can make a marble with it, or you can make a pendant with it. It really is useful for so many different things. That's going to go in the kiln to anneal. Here's that photo I promised you. You can see how awesome this cane looks. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.